Hi, what's going on, guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best balance build you can currently have in Wizard101. This is specifically for people who are just doing PvE. This isn't tailored towards advanced combat players or players that are doing PvP. Those are like separate builds because it depends on the content and it depends on what you're doing. So if you're just doing casual play and you want to build for balance, this is usually what I run, and I'm going to be posting these type of videos for the next probably the same day or the next couple days, just so I can bulk upload all these videos. Because of the new test round coming around the corner, I know a lot of people are going to be asking what's the best build. So I'm just going to preemptively upload all these videos before the whole update comes out for test round, and then if there's new gear, I'll cover it and everything like that. But yes, this is going to be specifically for balance, and the next couple videos should be for all the other schools. But yeah, for the balance build, we're going to be going over that, and I'll give you guys some other options as well. So don't make it seem like if I don't have this is pay to win, etc. I'll give you all the different options. So let's get into my balance build. 12k health, 237 damage. Resist, I don't really care too much about, but I mean, hey, having an okay amount is good because you're going to get some anyways from your build. And then of course 36 accuracy, decent crit, decent block, and 47 pierce with 103 power pips as well, and decent overall stats as a whole. Now let's get into the hat and then we'll get over to all the pieces. So hat, I would just use Reaver. Now I want to preface this to the people who always ask this: do I need these exact same sockets? No. Sockets are personal preference. Run whatever you want. If you want to have ice damage, storm damage, what, like, literally rock whatever. Don't rock it just because I have it in the build. Same thing with the block or like the shield pin. You can put resist, you can put whatever. I usually just switch these depending on what I'm doing, so don't worry too much about the sockets. Main thing is just have the Reaver hood. You farm this for Malice. It's kind of straightforward. You can definitely use pack gear. You can definitely use raid gear if you want to, but I've always just been using Dream Reaver for my hat. Now the robe is specifically from the raid. Now this isn't in packs at the moment, but eventually, like from like a year from now, I would assume it's going to be in packs. But right now this is not in packs, but it's the demonic armor. Essentially, it's the nullity robe, but better. So if you don't have this robe, honestly, you can use the nullity robe from the void raid. This you get from the Polaris raid. Now, if you're a person that doesn't do the Polaris raid, you don't do the void raid, a third best option is you can honestly rock the Reaver robe, but then sometimes depending on your school, you do lack pips, and then you have to like rock a different raid, different theme. Best option, second best option, is just go farm the library gauntlet. That robe is overall solid. I would consider that like the third best option. Like if you don't have demonic, you don't have void or nullity robe, third best option literally is library. Beyond that, you guys can run whatever. I know there's plenty of gear in the pack, like in the packs, for example, but like I said, I don't really want to include those packs too much. So literally use anything, but specifically for my build, I use demonic. I've just always preferred it. So yes, demonic would be your best bet. The card on it is kind of unique. I'm hoping that they do a spirit surge someday. I'm very much looking forward to that, but time will tell, right? So any of those, and of course I'll put the image right now in post of what the library robe is. So if you want to look it up on the wiki, you just look up the name and how to do it. But you get it from a gauntlet. There's plenty of people. You can even ask in the Discord if you don't have the gauntlet. Pretty sure you'll find somebody with the library gauntlet. But yeah, run whatever you want on the road. But like I said, this is specifically for my setup. Boots, we use Reaver, and just as I stated before, use whatever pins. I don't want people to stress out because they don't have the exact same pins in my build. Pins are just whatever at the moment for like PvE, just casual play. After the update, we'll see how much, you know, if I really want to incorporate pins into my build as like a necessity. But right now, not too much to worry about. So yeah, boots, you want to be using Reaver boots. Farm that from Malice 2, of course. Wand, I use Shababa wand. Now, this is up to you if you want to use it. It's not a requirement. I prefer it because on certain classes, you do get extra pierce. Now, if you don't have the Shababa wand from the Azteca raid, that doesn't mean the whole world's going to end. You can literally just use Reaver. It's fine. It's literally fine. The world's not ending. Now, if you don't want to do the raid and you want to spend money, You can open the pack, I believe, the recent pack. Let me see what it is, because I honestly haven't been opening packs on this game. But I believe, I believe it's the fairy pack. The fairy pack has the Shababa wands, and the Florimancer one has the other one, whatever, the Hunhow ones. But yeah, you would open the fairy pack if you really want a crowns version of this item. If you do not have the ability to do raids, literally just open the fairy pack. Now, if you don't want to spend money, use Reaver. Honestly, I wouldn't open packs right now because there's a test room around the corner. Anything's possible about what's coming out, like wand wise and everything else. So yeah, I would just wait up on that. But I do have health socketed on this. I think you can honestly just socket on whatever. I socket on health. If you want to put an item card on here, go for it. I just always put health on my tier sockets, even though they're quote unquote legacy and you know, they're not going to be increasing the health on tier jewels moving forward. I still go farm 155 health jewels just because if I don't need an item card, might as well just use health, honestly. So that is just my opinion. You can use whatever as well. So those are my other wands I would use. So either Shobalba from the raid. If not, you can open the fairy pack for the wands. If you don't want to do neither, just use Reaver wand and call it a day. Trust me, it's not worth spending money on the pack. Just either do the raid or use Reaver. The world's not ending. You aim, go farm your Reaver. Now I use damage jewels. Can you use pierce jewels? Yes, it's not a big deal. I personally use damage jewels just so I can get to 237. Now if you want to take off 20 damage and get 12 pierce, you can do that. Or if you want to just take off one more extra damage jewel and put on a pierce jewel, you can do that. I actually tend to, it's not in my backpack, but I think it's in my gear vault because I've been like cleaning stuff time to time. I do carry an extra athame and ring and amulet and deck, which I'll get to in a little bit. But essentially I do that to swap any piece I want for like extra pierce depending on the fight, because if you're already piercing the enemy, I don't want to have more pierce. At that point, might as well have more damage. Now if you don't pierce the enemy, it's kind of nice to just have the extra pierce. I think around 50 pierce is like where you want to like land on most classes, just because I've always preferred that. Some schools have more pierce than others, but I always tend to aim around 50 pierce on all schools, which whenever I go over the ice build in a later video, you'll see why like my damage is very low in certain schools. So I always try to aim for around 50 just so I have enough to pierce a tower shield, right? So for casual play, it's just super nice. But yes, you can switch these to more pierce if you feel like. If you don't want more damage, go for it. There's no harm. Go for it. Put some more pierce. It's not that big a deal. But yeah, I would socket on health for the square socket and the tier socket. You don't have to put health. You don't have to go farm these health jewels, like the higher 150 ones and etc. Honestly, you can socket on an item card. Honestly, what I would recommend is if you can go to the Wallaroo vendor. Honestly, I'll showcase this in the video real quick. Let's go to the Wallaroo vendor. I'll get to it. Okay, so now that I'm at the Wallaroo vendor, if you really want to, you can socket on some of these tier jewels. If you're gonna choose one specifically, honestly, the best ones I would pick is Potent Trap and I think Sharpen Blades on you. Yeah, I would pick those, and it's just so nice to have just because of stackability. And if you are solo questing, and that's just something nice, or even in team scenarios. But most of the time, if I'm in team scenarios, I just do Scald and Incendiate. But I do know that not everyone has access to Scald and Incendiate. So if you don't, honestly, you're just gonna do Blade AoE, so it's not too much to worry about as a whole. But yeah, you can put on a Sharpened Blade item card, a Potent Trap item card. I highly recommend that you do that if you don't want to do health. That's like the second best option. But I just do health just so I don't need the Sharpened Blade and Potent Trap most of the time if I'm just doing stuff by myself. But still, it's very nice to have. Like if I wanted to, I can probably put it on like a different piece. But it's still a good option. Amulet, I do use Hunhow. Now, it's not the end of the world, like I said earlier. If you don't have this, you can even open the Florimancer pack that's out right now. But keep in mind, if you see this video in the future, the Florimancer pack is only around for Halloween. So don't stress out. Like, you do not have to use the Hunhow one. I just personally use it. You can literally use Reaver Amulet. Like, if you guys check it right here. Go over here, and I think it's this one. Yeah, like it's just that the Hunhow one gives me extra 2 resist, and that's why I use it. And I don't mind losing the extra block, and the pip. I gain more pip conserve, which doesn't really matter. But if you're playing by yourself, I'd say honestly the Reaver one is good just because it gets balance blade. But I don't mind certain classes, I don't mind dropping the blade for like the utility. Like the Blade Storm, it's good because of I treat balance as a support school in certain fights. So honestly, it's really just up to you. Pick whatever you like. They both have their pros and cons. So I just personally use the Hunhow for the extra resist. Now, like I said, go farm it from the Azteca raid if you don't want to. Which, like I said, I would wait on farming like raids and stuff like that. Just use Reaver for the most part. But yeah, if you don't want to do the raid, second best option is just opening the Florimancer pack. The balance one is literally the exact same, just with different item cards. But stat wise, it's still the same. And then if you don't want to use either Reaver or Shabalba, just one of those. Reavers would probably be your best if you're just a casual player, so don't sweat it too much. And then the ring, of course, Reaver as well. I sock it on health and pierce. If you want to sock it on damage here, you can, but honestly, I don't want to lose the extra 6 pierce for damage, because at a certain point you're gonna hit the curve and then the damage is just not worth it. So it's better just have a pierce tool right here. But if you do want to drop some damage, you can switch these to pierce if you want to. So Dream Reaver ring, of course. And then the pet, this is where we get to some talks a little bit, which I have to specify in my other videos. Now, I use the Frilosaur for the extra set bonus. This is where it gets into like the pack opening portion, where this gives me 5 extra damage. Now, if you don't have the set bonus with the mount, I wouldn't rock a Frilosaur then. Like certain schools I rock the Frilosaur and certain schools I don't. So for example, if I'm on a storm or a fire, I don't use a Frilosaur, or like you do not have to because there's no need for it. But on balance, I like using for the Frilosaur, so I would preferably have triple damage on it and double pierce. Now, if you don't have double pierce, is it the end of the world? No, you lose 6 pierce. If you do want to do that, you can honestly just switch one of your damage talents, or your damage jewels to pierce, and then you can have like double resist on your pet if you really want to, right? Anything along those lines on pets is fine. If you have a triple damage pet with 3 damage talents and proof and defy, you can do that. If you want to drop this 2% pierce for proof, you can do that. Anything along those lines, but ideally I feel like this is what you want on a balance stat wise. Personally, resist isn't going to kill you. You can use resist on pets. For soloing, I understand that, but for the majority of the time, I feel like how the way content's going right now, I'm fine with triple damage, double pierce. I specifically made these pets like a while back, just specifically for this reason. But yeah, I have it on a Frilosaur. Now, like I said, if you don't have the mount, you can use a pierce mount, you can use a Gulcher mount, you can use any sort of damage mount. But for the set bonus, you have to use a Frilosaur. Now, if you don't have the mount, like I was saying earlier, you can swap to any of those other mounts. But when you do that, is you don't have to use a Frilosaur anymore. That means you can use like realistically any pet that you want. Like if you want to use a pet that gives an item card, like a pet that gives you feint, a pet that gives you blades, anything realistically. There's so many pets now in the game that give you blades. There's so many pets that give you traps and stuff like that. Like there's just so many. You can just literally go on the wiki and search up pets and you'll find it, right? But there's so many there's so many pets nowadays. So if you don't have that, like I said, you can switch the pet body, find somebody that has it. For now, I'm going to be keeping the set bonus till further notice, till they like do something with caps, or they introduce a system where we can socket jewels on mounts, and then this changes up everything completely. So this is what I would use. So yeah, any of those options work, but these are the talents I use, and these are the talents I prefer, of course. And then I'll show you this is what it looks like at the moment of what talents you want. And then when we go to the deck, I use Shabalba. Don't have to use it. If you don't have it, you can literally rock yeah, honestly, you can rock Reaver, you can rock, there's so many decks now too. There's even the ones from the packs, there's even the ones from the key bosses now. So if you want to rock one of the key boss decks that give like a triangle socket, you can. There's even the ones that I think there's one that gives like a circle socket and it gives you surge. You can use that too. The deck is just honestly use whatever deck, personal preference, and just make sure it has a circle socket on it. You don't need a triangle socket because you already have accuracy, you already have pips. So there's real no need for a triangle socket. So any deck that has a circle socket and that has like decent stats on it, you're kind of good. So yeah, so reverb, hunt how to, I don't know, actually hunt how doesn't give a circle socket, at least not to my knowledge. But anything, that's like along those lines, and that's just how you achieve these stats. And honestly, I feel like these stats are more for me. You can definitely, like I said, swap some things out if you want more resist, if you want more things. This is just what I aim for on all my builds. I always try to get the best damage and pierce I can get, and then from there try to bump up the other stats. So yeah. And I want to preface this one more time because I do get this question asked a lot in DMs, is do I have to have these pins? No. You run whatever pins you guys want, guys. Just because you see me use them, don't have to. I just use them, for example, like I have fire accuracy on them, and so whenever I do my Scald and Syndiate setups, I don't need the extra accuracy. I have pins on here. I don't have to swap my gear completely. I can just put on a hat and switch like one or two things, and then I'm good. That's the only real reason I have fire accuracy, and which you'll see on my other setups too, why I have fire accuracy. So that's basically the setup for the bounce, before of course the whole test run update. So that is it from me. Be on the lookout for the rest of the videos. I'm going to try to upload these as fast as I can, just so, because there's going to be spell teasers coming out. There's Friday is going to be crazy too, and then of course I have college work to worry about. So I'm just going to try my best to like organize that schedule a little bit for all this video stuff. But be on the lookout for all the content on the channel. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff. Join Discord if you have any questions. Literally, I'll be faster to respond in Discord in the server than I am like on YouTube comments. I'm a little bit slow when it comes to that. But if you have genuinely any questions, just literally join the Discord and just ping me, and I'll do my best to respond to you. But that's basically everything for the whole setup video. So leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.